All right. Welcome back to another Tech Talk. I'm your host, Josh from KeepItTechie. I'm excited about this interview I have today. I have my man Donald Williams in the building. I'm excited to have him. How you doing, Donald?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. It's Mardi Gras season. So we up. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
we both from the boot. So you know how we get down, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely, man. That was one of the cool parts. When I found you, I was like, man, he from Louisiana, just like me. It's always a pleasure to have someone that's from where I'm from. You know what I'm saying, and kind of going through this journey of getting into the or excelling in the IT field. You know what I'm saying, and getting this money. You know what I'm saying. So
Absolutely, man. Cause we, again, we from Louisiana, and just these type of opportunities in technology. I mean, we don't grow up seeing them.
yep.
They're not talked about. Some people find them, kind of early. People find them late, man. I think we found them, kind of early. So,
Hmm.
hopefully we can touch, people no matter where they are on their journey, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, exactly. I agree, man. And you're 100% right, bro. Like the typical, I guess, um, image of someone working in the IT field, especially growing up down there. I mean, it's some white nerdy guy in glasses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real,
Yeah,
man.
and
And you
that's true.
see
Or that,
me,
or like Indian guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now I was gonna say that's 100% true, man. You see me, you see you, and it's
Yep.
like, people don't know that guys like us can exist in technology, especially
Hmm.
coming from where we're from. So,
Yeah.
it's an honor,
For
really.
sure, for sure, for sure. And shout out to everybody that's here in the building. I see you guys. Let me go on. What's up, lovely angel lady? Good to see you. I appreciate you. That's my wife. So shout out to you for coming through and support. I definitely appreciate it. And
Thank
if you here, go on hit the like button. Go on and share. If you it look like I see a couple people in the clouds, just go on share the video out. You know what I'm saying? Go on hit that like button is greatly appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely want to get this out to more than just a super small audience. I want to try to get it out to as many people as possible. So, but let's start off, man. Let's go on and kick it off, bro. So, um, go ahead on and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your background or whatever.
Yeah, so my name is Donald. I'm a systems analyst. This marks my second year in technology. So for anybody watching who feels that they're starting their journey, who don't really know where they're gonna be in a year or two, what I would say is again, this is my second year and I'm a systems analyst. Managing a nonprofit organization, with office spaces throughout Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas. But I got started in 2020
Mm-hmm.
or studying. At that time, I was a graduate student in school psychology, and COVID hit.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing about school psychology is you're testing children so that you can make sure that you get them on a learning path, so that they can get to the optimal learning levels. And part of that is giving them tests, right?
Mm-hmm.
So COVID hit, and I was learning how to give kids tests. So I mean that really threw a monkey wrench in my plan. Uh, but I was learning Python at the time. I was interested in Python.
Mm-hmm.
And then networking, really caught my eye, man. That was the one that really sucked me in. The people networking. And
Yeah.
so, I made the decision, go ahead and pick up that CCNA book, go ahead and get to it. And, it really led me to the path, or led me down the path I'm on now, with being a systems analyst. But what I would say is, again, to anyone who's unsure about where to start or where they're going to be in a year, go ahead and create a plan. Create that plan, find you someone who's in the field, talk with them, make sure that you have a plan that's rock solid, but don't just stop at one person. If you're able to get
Hmm.
another person or another opinion, really just make sure that your plan is battle tested, because once you put it in motion, it's a battle. Things are gonna happen, things are gonna change. Just as long as you know how to get to your end goal, you'll be right for technology.
Hmm.
But that's kind of what I did when I was switching from psychology to technology. I found someone who was in the field who I knew really wouldn't BS me, who
Hmm.
who you know who wouldn't who would really just give it to me how it is, like tell me like, hey, this ain't for you or this is for you. Once they told me, no, you'll be great for it, it really gave me that confidence. We created that plan. I felt confident in the plan and I executed it. The first thing was getting that CCNA. So, I started studying for it that November. Uh, Interesting thing about it, man, I actually failed the first attempt on the CCNA.
Okay. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
started studying for it in November. And my first attempt was like January, going into February, right?
Hmm.
But I'm one of those people. I understand my learning style. I understand that I got to see the first pitch, and I don't even swing at the first pitch. I just got to see it,
Yeah.
just to have that confidence for the next one when I do swing. So I went in there, took that CCNA, really just to see how it was. But my score was better than expected.
Hmm.
That gave me even more confidence. I came back that April, knocked it out the park, man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, bro. Yeah, and that's interesting because I started off wanting to go that networking route. I think that's what attracted me into the field. I went to Remington College and went into their little networking program that they had. And yeah,
Nice.
that was one of my goals to taking past that CCNA, and it just never happened. I started off, I did that CompTIA Network Plus, and then I
Wow.
was gonna take the CCNA because someone told me, you might want to get the CompTIA first and then try to go that direction. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was trying to go that networking route, and but that's dope, bro. Now, one thing that stood out to me, what you said was your learning style. Like, how did you figure out what your learning style was, and how you actually absorbed the information that you were trying to learn?
Yeah. So what I encourage everyone to do is monitor your excitement.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easiest thing to track. How excited you are about something, right? If you excitement can be how engaged you are, how on topic you are, or really just how much time you put into something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I understood that I really like reading and then I like to watch a video,
Okay.
because I would get, come from psychology, man, read articles like, drinking water, man. It's just natural. But
Mm-hmm.
I understood that, after a certain amount of time, after a certain amount of reading the CCNA book, I'm bored, so I need to switch it up and watch a video,
Yeah.
right? And that's my learning style. First I got to read it, and then I got to watch it, and then I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for some people jump right into doing it,
Mm-hmm.
just to kind of see, that first pitch, and then they'll read it,
Yeah.
and then they'll watch it. But because they did it, they kind of, when they're reading, they understand. All right, so this is what that was. So this is what that was, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some people are like, okay, this is what that is, and then they'll go do it. So um, I would say, if you're unsure, go to your local library. They have free resources.
Yeah.
They have workshops. You know, they have free things. Or if you don't have a local library, all right, cool. Check out the local high school.
Mm-hmm.
The opportunity, for a workshop may be less, but there'll be an opportunity there. You
Yeah.
know, uh, but yeah, understand your learning style is important in technology, because when you're getting started, it really helps you gain momentum, and once you're in it, it really helps you keep going, because you have to keep, sharpening your skills, Because the beauty of technology, the reason why these salaries are so high and expanding is because the field of technology is expanding.
Yep.
You know,
That's 100,
so
bro. Yeah, that's dope, man. And I agree with you, man. Everybody learns differently. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm one of those people that got to do it in order to fully get it. I can read it all day and I'll be like, I still be lost. But if I don't do it, if I don't practice it, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Then yeah, I'm not gonna fully absorb the information to where I could fully talk about it and explain it to someone else. So yeah,
for real,
I
practice
agree.
makes perfect, man.
Hmm.
It's legit. I've spent nights reading stuff and just didn't understand it,
Yeah.
and then lapped it up and was like, "Oh, that's what that is." Like, come on, man.
Hmm.
You know,
Yep.
it's it really you find out that stuff that you're reading is like 10 pages long. That's real intricate.
Hmm.
When you're building out whatever solution you're building out, you find out really you're not using 90% of the stuff that you're reading.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, no understanding the ins and out of it is great for when it breaks, but to build it, to really get started learning it, man, you got to do it. Like,
Hmm.
reading it is great, but doing it is truly the best way to learn something in
Yeah.
technology.
Yep. Yep. I agree. I agree. And it was one other thing that stuck out, from what you said during when you're giving your background and everything, and that was, and I want people to really hear this. You know what I'm saying? He's only been in the IT field for 2 years and already a senior systems analyst. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible. And I wanted to see if you could talk more about how you transition from like psychology, into the tech field.
Yeah, so absolutely. So, to get started, again, just creating that plan, once I understood that I could do it, once I understood that, I had what it take to, really excel in technology, um, started taking a look at the similarities between psychology and technology, really, which there are a lot of similarities between psychology and technology,
Yeah.
namely research.
Hmm.
Whenever you're creating a plan of action or identifying a problem, identifying a problem solving method, and then identifying what the solution should look like, that's technology. All this is technology is a tool in which you use to solve a problem or create a product that solves a problem.
Hmm.
In psychology, all you're doing is looking for problems and ways to
Yeah.
solve problems, And so how you go about that, again, with the problem solving model and then technology is called troubleshooting, you know.
Hmm.
It's all the same stuff. And so, the qualities I would say that really translate between psychology and technology, focus, you got to be able to lock in. You got to be able, once you identify what that problem is, you got to be able to isolate some variables in technology. It's called labbing,
Yeah.
you know, and once again, taking those similarities and then just applying it to technology, it made me feel like I was ahead of where I was.
Hmm.
Right. So I was just starting technology, but it made me feel like I had the experience of someone, who had been in technology for a while because I just had that mindset coming from psychology. But um, research, again, just in technology, man, you can't just take one article or one way of doing something as the end all be all.
Hmm.
You got to take different perspectives. So if someone is championing a product or a service, you got to look at the other side. You got to look at somebody who's like, nah, this trash. And, really
Hmm.
just see, why they say that. Because they could be saying that because this technology is obsolete.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you jumping in there and you like, ah man, the next big thing came out 2 weeks ago.
Hmm.
So, this video that's 5 months ago is trash because it's obsolete. Well, I
Yeah.
shouldn't say trash, but it's
No,
obsolete.
I get what you saying.
So,
Cause
so research
I
is
say the
important.
same thing about like my videos. Once the technology is obsolete, I'll be like, "Oh, that video's trash. Now I gotta redo it
Yeah,
and show the
it's just the
updated
way we
version."
talk.
Yeah, I got
I
you.
don't want to offend anyone, but I mean, that's just the way we talk. I mean, you might as well throw it in the trash because it's
Yeah.
obsolete,
Yep. Exactly.
in technology. But yeah, but I don't want to offend anyone. I know that can be offensive to some people when
Nah,
we
I
say
get you.
trash, and
Yeah.
but but yeah. So I took that. Again, I jumped right into that CCNA book.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, coming from psychology, man, just reading. As much as we read, I mean, that was nothing. I kind of ran through it, labbing.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, that's how I caught on to your videos, man. I was trying to put together my virtual lab. I had spun up, that Ubuntu server inside
Mm-hmm.
of AWS. And, I was trying to, do the whole virtualization. And you have a
Mm-hmm.
video showing people VirtualBox,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. And so, grabbing that, really just not being afraid, really just saying, man, I can do this because, people who are in the field told me that, they see it in me and just really just going hard.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and again, just, monitoring myself, how I was learning. If I got bored on something, man, I'll just shelf it. Like,
Yeah.
it's so much technology out there. And if you have a plan on how to get to your goal, move on to the next thing. Like, but make sure that that's within, your plan. Make sure,
Yeah.
you're not just all over the place. Make sure that that's important. But if you feel like you've achieved what you set out to achieve at that particular point, and move on to the next thing. Just
Yep.
keep it moving. That's technology.
Exactly. I agree. And before we move on, I wanted to give a couple shout outs to everybody that's in here. Um, lovely angel lady again, my wife. Shout out to you. She says my master's is in mental health counseling. It's awesome that you ended up in tech. So salute to you, Donna, as well. Savage Scientist, he says, I think I'm the only odd one who started in tech without testing other fields. I got my master's in computer science. Yeah, shout out to you, Savage Scientist. I'm
Yeah,
happy to
it's
see you.
dope.
Yeah, happy to see you, man. Death Racer, what's up, bro? Shout out to you. Computer Geek, what's up, man? How you doing? Let me see who else. Joe W, what's up, bro? What's up, man? Good to see you in the building. I appreciate you guys coming through. Go on and like the video, share it out or whatever. Like I said, I want to try to get as many people in here, especially if they interested in tech. Because my man Donald is dropping a lot of game. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Putting you guys on game. So
Oh
um,
yeah, man.
yeah, and that's one of the things I try to say on my channel. I try to talk about or at least tell people. I mean, and you kind of said it earlier in your introduction how um don't just go to one source. I don't want to be that one source people go to. You see what I'm saying? I
Oh
want
yeah.
more than just me to be a source. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I bring people on like you, and different people that I brought on to talk about how they actually got into the tech field because everybody got into it a different way. I got into it a
For
totally
real.
different way from you. You got it a totally different way from other systems analysts that are out there. You know what I'm saying? So
For real. Yeah.
yeah,
And tech need that diversity, man. It's
yeah,
it's important because it's one, you gotta get people out there their comfort zone. You gotta bring
hmm,
fresh ideas, man, I hear people talking about things sometimes it's how it's gonna be implemented. And I'm like, that sound good, but for my community, nah, just don't bring that over here. Like
yeah,
we smart cars, like yo, no, we ain't with that, man. Not right now.
hmm,
It's
yep,
just, but but I mean, it's important, that we have diversity in technology. If we've been
hmm,
serious, man. It's you know, at the only time that we really in this society, that we all coexist is in the workplace.
hmm,
At church, we segregated. At school, we segregated.
yep,
At home, we're segregated. Inside the workplace is really just, as a society, is where we're coming together. We're
Yeah.
sharing ideas, we're sharing beliefs, we're sharing customs. America's only what, less than 500 years old. Man,
Mm-hmm.
it's customs in this world, that have been going on for thousands of years.
Oh yeah.
The one that I really like, there's a country called Eritrea,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's near Ethiopia.
Okay.
So in the middle of the day, from like 12 to 3, they shut the entire country down so that people can go home and eat with their families.
Wow. Wow, that's
Right.
dope.
The only thing open is restaurants. So
Mm-hmm.
because the culture is built around family and food.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to get off track, but I'm just saying, like, just where we are as a country, it's important, again, that in the workplace, which again is the really the only melting pot that we have
Yeah.
active in this country, that we continue to push those lines. If you find a segment of the private or public segment that's is one group, and push that line.
Mm-hmm.
Get up in there.
Yep.
Talk to those people. Each one teach one. And really try to impact each other.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree, man. Like that's, yeah, you're right, man. It's kind of still down there like that in the South, as far as
Oh
like the
yeah.
desegregate. I used to always say when I got in the army, what I'm saying, it's my first time like being around a whole bunch of different, people from different backgrounds, different cultures, and different races. You know what I'm saying? It was like a melting pot. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. Jobs are the exact same way. You know what I'm saying? That's where everybody comes together. So you on point with that, bro. I agree. Yeah. Now let's get to your well, first off, I wanted to ask you, so what was your first job, when you transitioned? Like how was that transition, and what was like your first job? What job you got into?
Yeah. So yeah, my first job, man, it was a like a help desk support slash senior technical support analyst.
Okay.
So pretty much, it was half and half. Half of it was help desk, the other half was imaging computers. Working with some of the switches that we had, and making sure that people could access what they needed to access, and also that the computers could talk.
Mm,
That's if we using a timeline. Again, I started studying for the CCNA. That November, I took my first crack at the CCNA late January, early February, and I passed it in April. Right, so I actually started my first job around the time that I took my first attempt at the CCNA.
okay.
And my the reason I went ahead and started searching for a job was, again, I felt like I had the skills or the experience in psychology when it comes to solving problems, to where I could relate that to technology and go ahead and get an entry level position.
Mm.
And sorry.
Nah, no worries. Go ahead.
And so that role, it taught me a lot. It put me in front of some executives.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, man.
Nah, no problem, bro.
Yeah, so it put me in front of some executives, and I'm gonna pass it to you.
Huh? Oh, nah, you good, you good. Hey, so let me see. I thought I seen another question in the chat. Let me see. I would not necessarily aim for the CEH. Um, okay. Because EC Council does not have the best reputation in the field. Okay, yeah, yeah, and that's one thing I heard about CEH. You're right, Savage Scientist. CEH is really not that reputable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a good cert to have, and I hear a lot of people talk a little negatively about the CEH. So that they you could just skip that cert and go right for the what is it, CISSP, or try to push for that if you're trying to get into cybersecurity with the ISC square certifications over there. So
Okay.
uh,
Yeah, my bad, man.
nah,
I'm
you
back
good.
with it.
Nah.
To everyone, man, it's like 30 degrees
Oh
here,
man.
and we're in Louisiana. Last week we had 70.
Yeah, and that ain't normal.
So man, it's tough out here, you know.
Oh, I already know, man. Yeah.
But yeah, just getting back into it, that position, it really allowed me to be around some executives.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're working with executives, man, everything's urgent.
Yep.
Everything that they talk about, no matter how small or how big the issue is,
Yeah.
urgency.
Yep.
And so
It's
just
at the
being
top of the
around them,
list.
legit, just being around them, being able to, be a go-to guy, it really gave me even more confidence that I was on the right path. And so what I was able to do, I was able to take that confidence at work
Mm-hmm.
and bring it home. So once I got home, I understood that what I was doing in my free time was paying off.
Oh
And what
yeah.
I was doing in my free time, I was reading and I was laughing. So, that confidence, it just allowed me to, come home and keep going. Um, I learned early on that it's not about how much time that you put in. You know, each day is really just about, you know, being consistent,
Yeah.
and doing it each day. Because again, I think I've said it before on the podcast. If you do 4 hours one day, and then 10 minutes the next day, and then 10 minutes the next day, but at the end of the week, you've only done 4 hours and 20 minutes, it's not the same. It's not the same as someone who did 4 hours, and they did time each day.
Yeah.
Because, those concepts, even if you don't touch a concept every day, if you touch a concept twice that week, man, that second time that you touch it, you touch it with a foundational knowledge from the first time that you looked at it. So the second time you're just building on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where growth happens. So to anyone who's watching, who's learning something new or trying to get into the field, man, just focus on consistency.
Yeah.
you know if it's 30 minutes a day, do it 30 minutes. And I think I said it before, cut yourself off at 30 minutes. Spend the rest of the day thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're thinking about it, it's on your mind, and you're using knowledge that you've acquired to come up with something new. So that the next day, that 30 minutes that you have, you thought about it so much that you have a game plan. You have a perspective and a game plan.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe whatever you're implementing works, maybe it doesn't work. Cut yourself off at 30 minutes, same process. Go back to the drawing board.
Exactly. No, I agree, man. Like that this is something that I always told people on my channel that, some of my videos it may seem like I know what I'm, talking about, or I'm like an expert or something in this. I don't see myself as no expert. I'm constantly learning. And a lot of times when I record these videos, I have to record them, more than once. Or I have to go through setting up whatever project it is, more than once to make sure that I put out the information correctly for other people. So that's a form of me learning, because I looked at it as I was learning this stuff, as I went through it. So um, that's something you can apply with just your training. Is sometimes you have to go through things, multiple times, and I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And and
Legit,
and put it, yeah, and then sit back and think about it, and yeah, because sometimes you got to walk away. That's one thing
legit,
I thought about when you said that. Like I've sat there at a problem for like an hour or so trying to figure something out. I had to walk away for like an hour, 2 hours.
real. It's all perspective.
Yeah. And then
Legit,
come back, and then boom, oh, I figured it out, you know what I'm saying? Just by taking that little break. So yeah.
legit, and you start applying it to other things in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Just I remember watching like man, those ads seen on TV, infomercials, all that,
Yeah.
all that stuff, man, and it was talking about it was talking about something like dusting, like cleaning off the keyboard and whatnot,
Yeah.
right,
Uh-huh.
and I was thinking about some networking concepts,
Yeah.
but part of the networking concept that I was learning about was art.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to clear your ARP out, and you got to
Yeah.
clear your. I was like, man, that kind of relate, because sometimes you got to you just got to wipe it off, in art,
Hmm.
and then stuff start working. IP routes start working for all
Exactly.
my network nerds. But that stuff, that stuff's important. Being able to walk away and come back with a fresh set of ideas, but
Hmm.
being dedicated,
Yep.
you know, that's super important.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, I want to kind of transition to, well, actually, I wanted you to touch on something um, that I saw you um, cover on Uncle Trey. Uncle Trey's
What you
video,
got?
cause like man, that's really how I found. That's what really one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on, because you told this story about how you put certain things on your resume that wasn't possibly 100%
Oh yeah,
true.
that's legit.
So I
Yeah,
wanted you to hit on that as well.
yeah. So I'll start off by saying, anybody out there, don't chase money, chase skills,
Hmm.
you know. But I chased that bag. I had a moment. I had a moment in there. I was learning networking and DevOps. The whole conversation about DevOps, really accelerated
Hmm.
on social media.
Oh yeah, it
And I
is.
got caught up in the salary. People getting 120. Where we from, I mean that's doctor money, and that's
Yeah,
it.
that's life
You know,
changing.
real man. That's a whole family.
Yep.
Like uncles and cousins. You could do
Hmm.
something with that.
Yep.
And so I was a lot of the things that I was learning in networking was aligning, with DevOps just at its core. And so, I started learning some of the DevOps tools, that are out there.
Hmm.
Where we talking about Linux, Terraform,
Oh
for the
yeah.
automation, some Jenkins for the pipeline,
Hmm.
and so on and so forth. But I got to a point to where, I felt like I could talk about it, but I was still learning.
Hmm.
Man, I got on a interview, and it was a panel interview, and man, they tore me apart, you know, because in retrospect, early on they understood that I didn't know, the ins and outs, that particular job,
Hmm.
but me, I'm a pretty honest guy. I just told them like, hey guys, this is stuff that in this current moment I'm learning more and more about. I have a foundational knowledge. I don't have experience with it. And once they understood that, the conversation and just the demeanor change. It became more of
Yeah.
a learning, them teaching me learning, like, hey, if you want to be this, these are the things that you need to know. And,
Hmm.
here's a suggestion on how to go about doing it. But in that moment, it was terrifying because, you have three people, and they're just, we're on video, but they're just looking at you like, nah, you're not the guy.
I
You're
know.
not the guy. You're not
And you
him.
can feel it.
Yeah, you're
You
not
can
the
feel
guy.
it through the screen. Yeah, I know what you
No,
mean, bro.
I mean, and and I knew I wasn't the guy when
Hmm.
I applied,
Yeah.
but again, you really just, if I can say anything about that story, man, is really just be honest.
Yeah.
The only person you ever got to lie to in technology is the client. Whether it's your
Yeah.
coworkers, your
Yeah.
boss, and just keep it honest.
Hmm.
Even today, if someone hand me something new that, man, give me a second. I got something right here, right? So this is a SD-WAN, right?
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, right, brand new, right out the box, man. Right. Boss asked me, to set it up. I
Hmm.
looked at him, said, "Yeah, I don't know how to, but I'll figure it out."
Hmm.
But just know that I'm figuring it out. And so
Yep.
I may come to you with questions. I may say, "Hey, I need an hour to talk to a Cisco representative, or a Meraki representative." But it's just being honest. It's like,
Hmm.
like right now in this moment, man, I don't know how to do
Yeah.
that, but I'll
Yeah.
figure it out. and just again, just being honest and having humility, it'll take you a long way in technology because at the end of the day, we're all learning.
Yep.
Whether it's whether it's a CISO, a tech manager, all the way down to to the support guys.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's trying to learn something new
Yep.
and take it to the next level in technology.
No, I agree. I agree, man. And that's cool that you had that type of mindset where you can, I mean, you could just be honest, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I think, a lot of people should understand and do that. It's okay to say you don't know something, you know what I'm saying? But you trying to get there to learn it. You know what I'm saying? Like you actually putting in the steps and the work to actually learn something. So, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with saying you don't know something. So that's one of the things I want people to take away from that story. Cause when I heard it on and shout out to Uncle Trey, man. He be putting it down over there with the
Oh yeah,
AWS cloud engineering, training, the certs, and all that information he puts out over there on his channel. It's super dope. So shout out
oh
to
yeah.
him.
Check out Uncle Trey, man.
Yeah,
Especially for all your AWS needs. He has some CompTIA videos
yeah, I saw that.
as well.
Yep,
Check them out.
yep. And shout out to my man Gabe Bay over at Struggle Security. He just donated to his channel. I definitely appreciate the donation. I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to you. If you guys want to learn cybersecurity or you're trying to get into cybersecurity, uh, Gabe A is a cybersecurity professional working in the field currently as a consultant. He talks about it on his channel, goes through consulting, like how he gets into consulting. He also does some training like hack the box and different things he's went
Uh,
through on his channel. So definitely go check out his channel as well. And Gabe, go down and put your link down in the channel as well. But yeah, man. Yeah, but you're right,
yeah,
man.
no, I
Oh,
see
go
what
ahead.
Savage Scientist just, my boss did that to me yesterday. You know what I learned about that Savage Scientist? Man, your boss probably didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody probably just mentioned it to him and he brought it to you. So in those moments, why not be honest? Just I
Hmm.
don't know nothing about that, but I'll figure it out. you know
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I know that we talked about kind of degrees and certifications and just kind of where that all fall.
Hmm.
uh, I kind of got a lot of that mentality from my degree,
Okay.
and just professors or whoever that is asking questions, in grad school, because it really in grad schools it's a group instead of a class. It's really a group, and
Hmm.
you're having discussions. And so if you don't know something in that discussion, you just say, "Hey, you don't know it," and you try to figure it out, and then you bring back, the next class or the next discussion, and you expand on it. And so I think that just having that experience is kind of where that mindset grew from.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So let's transition a little bit because you kind of brought up some of the other questions I was gonna ask. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, could you explain to the audience like what you do as a systems administrator, like for people that are interested and they want to know more about it. What exactly is a systems analyst?
Yeah. So before I say exactly what it is, I just want to put out the disclaimer. I work for a nonprofit organization.
Mm-hmm.
We have a pretty small team. So what I do as a system analyst may not fit within the scope of a traditional system analyst.
Oh
So
yeah, you probably
anyone
wear many
who's
hats.
right,
Yeah.
so anyone who's take this, just make sure you understand, the context in which I work, because that's important.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, so I'm a system analyst with a specialization in networking. So I help to manage our network infrastructure and also our security, infrastructure, whether that be with firewall or security appliances. So a typical day for me, coming in, checking the network monitoring tools, make sure things are online, checking
Mm-hmm.
our security tools, making sure that any threats that were identified were isolated or eradicated, making sure that documentation is in place for those. I do a lot of projects. For example, right now I'm working with converting from analog phones to voice over IP phones,
Oh yeah.
for an entire enterprise with
Wow.
10 locations. So that's in a nutshell. That's what I do. Here
Mm-hmm.
in my job. Um, Now I know other system analysts who work almost exclusively with software,
Mm-hmm.
whether that be Linux or VM, and making sure that databases and servers and administrators, roles, privileges, and things of that nature are intact and monitored. I don't do that, but I know that that's a big part of in the traditional sense
Mm-hmm.
what a system analyst does. But anyone out there who's interested in, in systems or networking, I would say start with the basics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, learn what a computer is, how it talks. What an operating system is, what Linux is.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
Linux work. What I do want to say is really in whatever field you're in technology, you need to understand Linux. You may not have to use Linux on your job, but understanding how Linux works is transferable to everything.
I'm
You
joking.
know,
Yeah. Nah, you're right.
legit, man, it's transferable to everything, right? So, for an example, when you're setting up your lab, you can learn networking while learning Linux.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go in there and in sudo UFW enable, right? Get that firewall service enabled on that on your Linux server. Start to set rules. Monitor the traffic, see what gets blocked, see what you can access.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's part of it. Sometimes you set up rules and you find out you can't access certain
Yep.
sites and services.
Yep.
And that's how you learn. That's how you learn networking,
Yeah.
on the real sense, and that's how you learn Linux as well. But you know, in a nutshell, again, that's what I do as a system analyst, and that's some of the things that in the traditional scope of what a system analyst does.
Yeah. I got you. I got you. Now, just moving on. So, if how do you stay on top of the skills? Because we all know that. I mean, you said it multiple times in the stream. Technology is constantly changing, new things, coming out, and you kind of hit on labbing. So I wanted you to hit on it again. But that's how do you stay on top of those skills and know what technology to look into, for the future?
Uh, I would say first, you got to be passionate about it. You got to find your passion in technology. Technology is a big field. I'm
Mm-hmm.
passionate about networking, so the things that I focus on for the most part is networking. Changes in technology, whether we're talking about SD-WAN, whether we're talking about cloud. Those are the things that I focus on, right? So I subscribe to the people who push the technology forward. So the last people who made a really big splash was AWS.
Oh yeah.
When they really revolutionized or commercialized cloud,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I follow what they're doing, right? So with the whole now allowing IPv6, you know,
Okay.
so those are the that's how I stay up on it. Now that I see that they're able to, or that IPv6 is a capability in the cloud, I lab it up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's how I stay current. Now, I'm still new, so I'm not one of those guys who are, in these circles where they can, they're creating technologies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still very much consuming technologies,
Yeah.
and I just understand my position at this current time. When it comes to where I am, my skill set, and I just lean into that, man. If you're somebody that like emails, just subscribe. to some blogs, subscribe to some reputable magazines, and get it on your phone,
Yep.
and again, make sure you lab it up though, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you can't just read. You can't. I mean, you can't. I can't expect to just read some new technology and run with it. It's just,
Hmm.
I mean, I'll crash and burn that way. I gotta lab that stuff up. So, also outside of the blogs and the reputable sites, um, just always looking for people who are like minded.
Yeah.
Like how I found you, man. I
Yep.
know, and I know Josh. He got his finger on Linux, so I just stay in tune with what Josh got going on, and the videos that he's dropping. I just checked out Black Ubuntu,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
Black
mentioned
Buntu.
Black
Yeah.
Ubuntu, and I was like, yo, I've used where I've labbed up, Kali Linux, and I got that sense. I was like, yo, really, these are all just tools that are,
Yep.
kind of out there. And
Yep.
then you said it, and I was like, yo, let me really dive into this. And
Hmm.
and I checked out your video, and and again, just like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
If you wanna move forward, you got to be around people who are moving forward, because
Yep.
even when you don't want to, or even when you're stagnant, they're gonna push you. It's just how things go. Think about when you're in the crowd and you want to stop moving, but the people around you moving, you moving.
Yep.
And that's just how it goes.
Exactly. I agree, man. You gotta put yourself around the people that's that's moving forward. Otherwise you get left behind. You know what I'm saying? By putting yourself around them, it definitely motivates you to keep going and pushing and learning and all that stuff. And that's why I promote LinkedIn a lot. I always talk about LinkedIn, and that's one of the places where you can go and network and find people that are actually, like-minded, like what you said, that's doing what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of leads to another question I wanted to ask you. How important is mentorship? You know what I'm saying? As far as, um, because yeah, you putting yourself around these people. Um, is it important to communicate with these people and try to get some mentorship from them? So
Yeah. So, I mean, I got a theory. Just I mean, this is loose. This is very loose theory. I think over 80% of the people in technology have ADHD. So a mentor is very important, because a mentor, really helps you stay on task,
yeah,
and really help, again, if you have a plan, if you have a goal that you're accomplishing, a mentor really helps, with checking in on where you're at,
yeah,
because we can all kind of lose sight of our goal, and or lose where we're at on our path,
hmm,
right? But mentor, whether it be checking in and someone saying, hey, how did this go, or how did that go, and you saying like, oh man, you know what, I left off on that, but I need to get back on it.
hmm,
And so that stuff's important.
hmm. Yeah, it is. It is. It definitely is. And because you can easily get distracted. You know what I'm saying? They got all these different people out here putting out a lot of great information. All over the place. Like I'm talking about Linux, and people will come to my stream and get hype about Linux or whatever, and then they start, oh, I need to get into that or whatever, and then later on this evening, somebody else doing a live stream talking about AWS, and then they getting hype about that, and like, oh, I need to, do this, and you can easily get
Yeah.
distracted, you know what I'm saying, end up all over the place and scatterbrain, you know what I'm saying, and so I agree with you. You gotta That mentor will help keep you on task on whatever you're trying to learn. So find, and that's why I always talk about, in order for you to get where you're trying to go, as far as in the tech industry, like position or whatever, you need to find out what that position is. Look for what you need to get in that position and work your way backwards from there. You know what I'm saying? And then find a mentor that's in that same track plan, and get guidance from them and focus on
Yeah.
just that, so you don't spend a bunch of money on other certifications you don't need because you got hype
Mhm.
about somebody video or something like that, or you was thinking about something else, you get sidetracked. You know what I'm saying? Focus in on what you actually want to do, because we all want to get into different positions or whatever, so you got to focus in on what that is.
Legit,
Yeah.
legit, man. I mean, I mean, this is like a old, I guess, psychology trick, but
Hmm.
whenever before you leave something, before you drop it,
Yeah.
like before you just like I'm done with that, think about how you feel when you first thought that this was a good idea.
Hmm.
You know, like that excitement. Like where did that excitement come from? All right, it was a good idea, but maybe you met some adversity, maybe some things along the way that happened to you specifically, kind of soured you on it. All right, well, cool. It's still a good idea.
Hmm.
Maybe it's not, meant for you at this time. So don't throw it away. Just, move it further along down your journey and say, hey, once I've accomplished this, this, and that, then I'll take a second look at it.
Yeah.
If and maybe you don't need it at that point, right? Like
Hmm.
there was some security stuff that IPS, IDS that I was learning, man. And I really liked it. But I got a little further down into my journey and I found out what I really need in my job was firewalls, and learning how to write rules and things of that
Oh
nature.
yeah.
So I said, all right, well, I'm still interested in IPS, IDS, and using snort and stuff like that in PF Sense. Let me just move it. Like let me just move it down the line, and
Hmm.
and hopefully I have a use for it. Hopefully it's still relevant, but just move it instead of throwing it away.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree with that, and I hope nobody in the chat took what I was saying that way. I mean, yeah, learn as much as you can. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't limit. I mean, only limit yourself to what you need to. But I'm just saying like mainly focus on that if that's where you want to go, what direction you want to go. But also you still want
Yeah.
to look at the other technologies out there so you stay on top of what's going on. So I hope it didn't come across that way, but that's yeah, yeah. But anyway, so I wanted to um ask you about degrees and certifications and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on degrees and also certifications people should probably get into if they wanted to become a systems engineer? I mean analyst. I'm sorry.
Um, so as far as degrees, no one that I work with, necessarily has a degree.
Yeah.
I think who's technical. All of the people that I work with who are not technical have degrees. So that's kind of my perspective on it. As far as certifications, I think that certifications are useful. I think that really the skill is more important than the certification.
Oh yeah.
So being able to troubleshoot a network is totally different than having a CCNA.
Mm-hmm.
I've met people who know the book in and out, but when something break, I mean, that they don't know how to fix it. And
Yeah.
so, but I think that having that skill is important because this having that skill is why the person is employed. The network's already built. They
Mm-hmm.
just need you here in case something break, you can fix it.
Yeah.
So that's important. Now, what I will say is that I think that degrees and certification are really the same. It's really experience, right? With degrees, they know that you have experience with studying this topic or whatever it is over a certain, period of time. With certification, they understand that you've dedicated whatever amount of time to learning this topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that at the end of the day, really just going out and volunteering, churches, man, here's a gem. The church will not tell you no.
Yep. That's true.
Ain't gonna happen. I mean, we're from the Bible belt, so maybe it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
But if you talking about networking, the church will not tell you no. It
Not
could
at
be
all.
something so simple as saying, I wanna update your mesh points, or I want to make it a mesh because over here in the back by this pew, they're not really getting reception. And this is where the young people sit at with iPads,
Mm-hmm.
and they looking at the Bible on their iPad. So if you want to keep them here, you need to get some traffic, some signals over here. That pastor will look at you and say, whatever you need,
Yep.
just letting you know. I trust,
Exactly.
but but experience. Just go out there and get that experience, because that's what you can talk about in a job interview.
Yep.
The certification, it may get you the interview. I keep hearing that. I don't know how true it is, but I keep hearing it. But that experience, that's what really holds weight.
Yeah. Nah, and I agree. I agree. It does hold a lot of weight. You know what I'm saying? So getting that experience is important. You know what I'm
But
saying?
yeah. But to answer the question directly though, degrees versus certifications,
Mm-hmm.
man, Josh, I gotta go certification.
Yeah.
I gotta go certification only because the degree is 4 years. We're in
Mm-hmm.
technology. You're not gonna remember what you learned the first 2 years.
Yep.
I mean, it's just how it goes. It's just how the human mind works. As we expand our consciousness and our learning capabilities, our memory. The stuff that didn't really, the human brain is so efficient. The stuff that's not relevant, it'll just do away with it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're reading stuff that you're not using, that you may never use, and you have other stuff that you're more excited about, you're spending more time thinking about it, like the brain will do you a favor and just forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it goes.
Yep. Yep. I
So
agree.
but a certification is a shorter time. We're talking about at the most, probably a year people study for certifications. I just think that'll do you, that'll be more beneficial in a job hunt, than a degree will be. Now, if you're in your career, you're pretty set in what you're doing. You need to build other skills, whether that be
Yep.
arithmetic, social skills, stuff like that. Now, oh yeah, get that degree, but make sure your company pays for
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up, man. That is something. Yeah. Once you get in these positions, definitely leverage the company to get more educated. So that's definitely something I encourage. Try to get that put into your benefits package, so to speak. For the company. Hey, can you guys help with school or certifications and all that stuff? Even though
it.
these
Yeah.
companies, even though these companies don't they know a lot of younger people are not sticking around in jobs that long. They still willing to invest in their employees, so take advantage of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it, I think paying for someone's school, like you said, young people not really sticking around. So I mean, if you pay for five people's school, let's say four of them leave, but that one that does stick around, just you found yourself really a diamond in the rough. And how much is that worth to you as an organization?
Yep.
Is that worth basically wasting tuition on four students? Then cool. If I was running an organization, I would do it,
Mm-hmm.
because what you gonna waste my money for a semester, and then I find out the truth about you that you're really not in it for the long haul, then
Yep.
cool. That's just the price of doing business. But in turn, I found somebody who's gonna be here 20 years, who I'll pay for their next degree.
Yep.
I'll pay for whatever they want, because that's a foundational piece, and every organization is looking for that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. And let me hit a couple of these comments. I seen a couple of people put some great information out there, and I wanted to highlight it right fast. So Calvin Henderson, he says networking is important. Taking time to learn is what keeps networking going. Yes, I agree. I agree. Um, Let me see. It was something else Calvin said that was super dope. Calvin says focus 70% of your time on learning one topic. 25% on other topics, and less important, and other topics less important, and 5% as downtime for the mental stresses of life. So I agree with that. What's your thoughts, Steve? You want that?
Yeah, no, that's a really good ratio. I like it. I
Hmm.
think that also just with what Calvin said, keeping in mind that just based on the scenario in your life, those ratios may change. Just understanding your mental health is super important. When I
Yeah.
say mental health, I know, man, I like the scientific side of psychology, not necessarily the art of psychology that you
Hmm.
find, with counseling. I just never got into it. What I will say is trauma. Understanding trauma, it really just means understanding triggers, right? So, for an example, if you lose someone close to you, let's say, well, if you lose someone close to you who had, really instrumental in, bringing you up, man, that's a traumatic experience.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
just take some time. You may have to take some time away from learning at the rate that you're learning.
Hmm.
But take some time, change up the ratio a little bit, maybe flip it, maybe 5%, learning 70%, really just focusing on yourself and how you process that.
Yep.
But no, overall, that's a really good ratio, Calvin. I might have to steal that. That's pretty solid.
Yeah. 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 I was gonna take his comment and make it a post on Instagram. So yeah, shout out to you, Calvin, man. That's, yeah, good information, bro. Let me see. JM says, I would not focus on obtaining a certification. I would focus on actually understanding technology so that you can do good in the interview. And that's essentially what my man Donald just said. You know what I'm saying? You want to focus in on the
Man,
experience and
you know what I will
understanding.
say,
Oh, go ahead.
Josh? I'm
Hmm.
gonna kind of push back on what I said and also what JM said.
Okay.
Man, I think in JM, I'm only basing this on the current, like what's currently happening, right,
Okay.
with in the economy. If you're learning something and you're learning that skill and it aligns with a certification, man, grab that certification because you don't know what'll happen with your job to where you might be on the market and these employee tracking services or
Oh, yeah.
applicant tracking services, and you might need to really drop that on you on the resume. So
Hmm.
if you are learning that skill that aligns with a particular certification, go ahead and get that.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree. I 100% agree, man. You if you already got the skills, you might as well just go on and take that certification. That's just like with me, man. I've never worked with Linux before, in an actual job. Linux is just something I've played around with on the side. It's just another technology that I thought would be interesting to learn and something more I could add on to my resume. Since I've been doing it for so long, I created a course and all that stuff or whatever, but um, I just went on and took the certification because I already knew the knowledge. I already had the knowledge of it, and I just, even though I didn't need to, I just went on and took the certification just to put it on my resume as a stamp of, okay, yeah, you got all these videos, but yeah, I can actually manage a Linux server because of this certification, and it puts that stamp on your resume as, okay, he actually can, instead of just being able to talk to it. And you're right, to bypass that system, because these jobs out here, these places that you apply for, you got to get through that algorithm that they use to scan people's resumes. So those certifications will make you stand out. So yeah, I agree with you that, bro.
Yeah, but if you would ask me this 2 months ago, I would, Jay, I'm with you, man. I'd be like, nah, forget that certification, save that money. But
Hmm.
just in this climate, if you're on the edge, go ahead and jump, get that certification.
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
for sure, for sure. Well, that's all I got for you today, bro. Like I had a couple more questions, but um I just, I save him for another time. I'll probably try to bring you on again, bro. You know what I'm saying? I love having on my Louisiana brethrens, you know what I'm saying, out here in
Absolutely.
tech and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Louisiana, we on, man. You know, I kind of tell people that Louisiana is perfect for it's ripe for a tech burst
Hmm.
because everywhere that has had a tech burst, right now just the affordability or the cost of living and the sustainability of it is just unbalanced. But
Oh
in
yeah.
Louisiana, man, people talking about $120,000 salaries. Man, come to Shreveport with an $80,000 salary and see what type of life you can have.
Oh, I
You
know.
know,
I
it's
know.
it's gonna be popping.
Yeah.
Legit. Got
Yeah, I
the
know.
airport. We got Dallas. We got New Orleans.
Hmm.
We got
Houston, not that
interstates,
far.
Houston.
Yeah.
And you can do all that with a low cost of living. You
Yep.
don't need 120,000. You don't need
Especially
that traffic.
especially with all these remote positions out there now. Definitely take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? And you can live in a lore. And I'm kind of doing something similar. Like my job is actually, and I probably you probably heard me talk about it, but my job is actually in San Diego. San Diego is super expensive, bro. I live in Vegas. Vegas is
Oh
way
man.
cheaper. It's like doing the exact same thing. Cause I work remote, partially I have to go down, but I work partially remote and the standard of living is so much lower here in Las Vegas. Um
That's
with that
pretty
high
cool.
paying job, from San Diego. So same thing you could do down there in Louisiana, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Yep.
yeah, it's like I said, it's right for the taking. I mean, it's right for technology. I think that the people that kind of look like us, or the people that kind of relate to us,
Hmm.
hopefully they can take some of this wherever they're at on their journey.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's some inspiration, whether that be starting or keep going, or whatever it is.
Hmm.
But before I go, I just want to say to the people that are in technology, you have a responsibility to keep moving technology forward.
Yep.
We're taking a look at these salaries, and everybody's really giddy about it. Companies don't want to pay you $120,000. We all have a responsibility and a due diligence to keep improving these tools, keep creating tools, keep making tools effective that really increase productivity and are meaningful and impactful. So
Mhm.
if I can say anything, just get inspired and get active out there.
Exactly. I agree. I agree. And make sure you guys go follow Donald on his LinkedIn. He wanted me to share it out for him or whatever, so you guys can. Well, he didn't ask. I just told him I was gonna share it out because I wanna make sure I put people in front of you know as many people as possible that can help people be successful in this field because everybody has something to add, some type of value to add. So make sure you follow Donna on his LinkedIn profile. Yeah, and if if you got questions, you know what I'm saying. I'm sure he'll be willing to help. You know what I'm saying, or be a mentor for you if he has the time. To help you guys out. You know what I'm saying. But yeah, this is exactly what he was talking about earlier. Find people that are like minded, um, and that are doing something in whatever you're trying to get into, and they could possibly help you and point you in the right directions in order to be successful. So definitely follow him out on LinkedIn. And do you have any other last words? And I want you to stay around after this, bro. Okay, don't hang up
Absolutely.
right
I
away.
mean, the only other thing I got, man, is Mardi Gras. So
Oh
turn up
yeah.
one time. You know, if you're close to Louisiana, get over here. This is where you need to be. The
Yeah.
Mardi Gras season.
Oh
Take
yeah.
take the edge off. Let go of that stress. You got sick days. Use
Yeah.
them. Come to
Yep.
Mardi Gras.
Is it Tuesday coming? Or
Oh yeah, man, I feel like it's
Fat
here.
Tuesday? Oh, okay. All right, all right, all right. Cause I always miss out. Cause I ain't lived down there in so long, bro. I'm always off on when it actually is, cause it moves around every year. So, as far as the
Hey
dates,
man, it's
so
it's Mardi Gras, man.
yeah,
Listen, just grab some bees, grab some music, grab something to drink on.
yeah, some
And I
crawfish
mean, wherever you're at, man, and
for
just
sure.
find somebody who like minded, and
Hmm.
it'll grow from there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And shout out to everybody that came through for this. Definitely appreciate all you guys coming through. People that have donated, people that have liked, even if you thumbs down the video, whatever. Shout out to you. That's engagement. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate it. But if you can, go on and share out the video. And if you missed it, just go on and rewind to the beginning so you can check out what all we talked about. Because like I said, my man Donald dropped a lot of game in this video, so um, uh, I was happy to have him on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna definitely try to bring you back, Donald. Um, and salute to everybody, man. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and get out there and study. You know what I'm saying? And try to be successful. And of course, keep it techie.
Peace, Louisiana, one time.